Right, everybody. I'm live on that, doing a review on the 1962 Bond film Doctor No. Yeah, what a great film! It's like one of the um, films that made action films sort of like have to level up because it set the bar when it came to action films and that. And as it did do through the years with the Bond films, it was proper getting the action scenes like the best for its day. Because some of the action scenes in Doctor No, they're a bit dated nowadays, but for its time though, there was like spot on. Because some of the fight scenes and all in it, uh, there's not exactly great fight scenes, but because there's a not all that sort of fighting in Bond films much and that. But the hand-to-hand combat, when there is hand-to-hand combat, it is pretty good for its day. It's using jiu-jitsu and karate sort of moves and that. Yeah, and Sean Connery in as James Bond. Yeah. Um, Ursula Anderson, Anderson, I think it is, as like the Bond girl, because she was in the Casino Royale in 1967 with David Niven in, and so yeah, it was like 5 years later sort of thing. Um, she starred in Casino Royale, which yeah, as I say, I viewed it last week and that. Great film and that, but it was a spoof. But yeah, um, yeah, Joseph Wiseman as Julius No or Doctor No, and yeah, Jack Lord as Felix Leiter. Yeah, I'll bring it up. Yeah, and Eunice Grayson. I think that's how I pronounce it, but yeah, Sylvia Trench, who's the woman who playing. Oh, I forget. It's not Baccarat, but it's some other game. I think some other card game they're playing at the time, and he chose a game of golf with him the next day and that. Uh, Zena Mars, um, John Kitts Miller, Anthony Dawson, Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny, who like stars in quite a few of the Bond films as Miss Moneypenny. Bernard Lee as yeah, Peter Burton as Q. because one of them where he don't get mentioned as Q, but they have put him as Q in this. Well, in the film, you don't get. I can't remember if he gets titled. They say he's getting titled as Q, but yeah. And yeah, those over like actors in it and that. Yeah, yeah, but, yeah. Look, Desmond Lyle, he plays Q, but yeah, um, that cast it got because Robert Shaw in Doctor No, he's in unless like he played one of the um stunt extras, but he didn't. He was in from Russia with Love, so this like yeah, he's gone a bit crazy where you don't know if that's. But anyway, yeah, 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 great film though. Yeah, it's the one where Ursula Andrews it comes out of the sea with some shells and that. But yeah, yeah, it starts off like uh, these three blind who appear to be blind and that go and shoot this doctor and his assistant and that in Jamaica. So they send Bond in to like go check it out and that. And so he goes and that. Uh, well, yeah. Before that though, there is the scene, as I say, where he's talking to or playing cards and that with this woman, and because he has to leave, and she makes a date to play a game of golf and that. But when he goes back to his apartment, she's there, sort of like doing a few putt shots, but he don't know and that. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, he don't leave immediately because he he stays to finish the round. Well, anyway, then he goes out to like Jamaica and that, and he's oh yeah, here's where I better put the spoilers on. Um, just in case I know come. Cause the very well the review is great. It's a must see. It's one of them films where I say set the um, level of action films to a new level. Yeah. Anyway, what I'm looking for is yeah. That should be it. But anyway, I can't find it. Spoilers or yeah. Getting back to the film and that. It is a great film. So the had like a bit of trouble in Jamaica and that, so the same bonding and that, and then he gets picked up at the airport, but he knows like it's suspicious and that, like, and so he phones in to see if he's had anyone send him some transport and that, and like, no, we didn't think you'd want anyone getting sent and that, and so Bond's like, yeah, you're right, and then so he beats up the like chauffeur dude who like takes him sort of like out of town because he just says, oh yeah, just drive around and that, and then so he goes to like the place where the doctor that got shot and that the headquarters was, and starts like questioning people and that, but does it sort of undercover, is in he gets just introduced to him and that, and he starts asking questions and that, and so like, here we go, spoilers. Yeah, and so like goes and gets like enough information to find out like he was on this island that Doctor No owns and that, but obviously you don't know that it's Doctor No owns at the time. He's on the island and that, and collecting stones and that was radioactive, and so Bond finds out like, oh yeah, there was radioactive fucking like rocks and that. He needs to like investigate a bit more. So he like goes like on the island and that with a helper dude, and then find Ursula Andrews there picking shells, and then they're all got like weird out like there's a dragon on the island and that, but it's not. It's just a van that has a flamethrower at the front, and it's painted to look a bit like a dragon, but not as. They're probably in like the budget. They'd have made it look more like a dragon, but the probably budget was a bit low, and so like they had to just do with a painted face and a flamethrower sort of thing in this sort of like fucking armored like tank. It looks like, but it was probably just a fucking Volkswagen Beetle to make look like a tank. But anyway, the helper dude gets like fucking frazzled by the flamethrower and that, and then Sean Connery as James Bond and Ursula Andrews, they fucking like give themselves up and that, and like before all this shit though, there was like Bond fucking like getting chased in that in his car, where the effects of it looks corny. because you can obviously tell behind it, like it's just a fucking screen that's playing car, like following the camera and that, but it was like done in the 60s and that, so they didn't have that much special effects at hand. But yeah, so there's a lot of action for then and that. But yeah, to get to the end bit sort of thing and that, because the film, it has like a pretty good sort of action in it, but it's not action packed, because like it was the first one that got made, and so they had to like make sure that they didn't go crazy with it in case it didn't make much more money and that. So yeah, but yeah, there's some good fucking fight scenes and action scenes, car chases and that. But yeah, because like the Doctor and all, he tries to kill Bond and that, and yeah, there's a bit where Bond just like shoots him and that, and yeah, it's a bit actiony in that, but not real actiony. But yeah, well, this doctor that like you find out was betraying the like, or was working for Spectre and that, and yeah, because he has to get like a spada and to put onto the into the room and that James Bond sleeping in, and so the spider will hopefully kill him, but it don't, because Bond just lets it like crawl onto a pillar, and then he kills it with a shoe and that. But yeah, it's suspense in that. But as I say, not the greatest of action in it in that, but it's more suspense action. But it was a first Bond film and that, and so you have to like give them a bit of leeway. But yeah, anyway, yeah, getting back to like where Bond's been captured and that, because yeah, this is sort of like where it becomes like more of like a Bond film, because you don't see Doctor No, you see his henchmen trying to like get rid of Bond and stop him from investigating what's happening on his little island and that. But there is some good like fight scenes, as I say. So yeah, like it's a great film, but yeah. So he gets to like the base and that, because he's captured and gets took under base and that, where it's the old um, supervillain secret layer and that, which like probably, you know, took much of the budget, probably, because like there was quite a few sort of probably big sets to do and that shit, because like they had it sort of made as best as they could with like what they had in that, and so like, yeah, they had to make the sets look good and that, even though there was some sort of like bits where you're thinking, oh yeah, that looks a bit like thin in that, you know, like the wire mesh in that holding the ventilators. But it's like, yeah, fuck it, is just go with it. Yeah, how you born? All right. Yeah, born. He's talking about the end bit really to Doctor No, where they get captured and Bond and Ursula Andrews. She's called Honey Summer. I forget. Honey Rider. That's her name. In the Bond film, and that, yeah, she's called Honey Rider. Bond and Honey Rider are captured in that, and they go into like the secret layer base and that, and they get like washed down for radiation and that. Oh, what? Bond, no, Bond, don't say it, don't. Oh, you gotta see. Fuck it. This, I was saying, this is sort of like the action film, because obviously there was action films before fucking Doctor No. Like you had your westerns and war films and that, and mob movies and that. But this was the film that fucking sort of like took the level up. And I was saying, and it like kept the level going, right up to like 90s odd, where the action was setting the level in Hollywood and big blockbuster movies. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. If you haven't seen it, this is the part where you don't want to listen because it's the spoilers and that shit. Because like Bond is captured in that, and then gets took into like a room with a Honey Rider, and I got some food in that, and the coffee's drugged, and so they pass out. Oh yeah. Oh, you haven't. Oh, Bond. These are like the oh, stepping stone, sort of like, or the level pusher that like action movies. If it weren't for these Bond films, action movies we're watching today won't be as good, because there was making sort of like action films like good in that, but the Bond films made it sort of like real good, and sort of did the stylized, as in, with like, as I love like the 80s corny one liner fucking films and that. That's why the Bond films, like, if one for the Bond films, the 80s action films wouldn't be like as good as they are, in my opinion. Sort of thing. Oh yeah. Well, I'm spoiler alert. I am like going to be reviewing all the Bond films, because, like, yeah, there was a bit of a like clue with Casino Royale, but it was the David Niven one. But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing all the Bond films, because like I even did the new one, No Time to Die. So there's like one down, 26 more to go, I think, or 27, or was it 29? I don't know. There's about 26 to 30 Bond films, I think it might be, but anyway, yeah. But it's going to be taking me half the year to do them. There's that many. Oh yeah. Bond don't care about spoil. No, right? Because I said something, Bond. This is what I've seen this film a good like 6 or 7 times. Obviously, 3 or 4 of them viewings was when I was younger, when it had been on telly, and so I didn't pay that much attention. But I've seen it like 2 or 3 times when I bought the DVD and that, because yeah, you've only watched 3 or 4 well, yeah, and it's like one of them where, depending on which ones you watched, you might think, oh yeah, I don't like them, but because like the Roger Moore ones, they're real spoofy. I love them ones. They're like tongue in cheek, as in he's not giving a fuck. He's Roger Moore is like, right, I'm gonna make the most of this and that. So like he just plays it proper tongue in cheek. But yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to the spoilers and that. So because I was gonna say that, but it one of the where you can watch it again and again, even though you know what's going to happen. It's just seeing it. It's one of them films where it is visually sort of like spectacular, because I had the thingy one and all, the remastered color version, because originally the copies was in black and white, because originally when it was filmed in black and white, but you know, in like the 90s 2000 sort of thing, there would be like remastering versions where they'd take out all the fucking like, they're not watermarks, but they're like little squiggles and that shit, like on the film. So it'd make the picture look real good, as if it had been filmed on a HD camera and that, and coloured and all, where they'd done that colour system where they can just recolour black and white footage, because they'll got like a pattern where they do know most of the colours, most of the grey shadings is what certain colours are. But if they don't know what colour it is, they'll just pick a colour that like suits whatever the colouring. But yeah, to get back to anyway, to get talking to Doctor No, and he's like showing him his underground aquarium, where it's just basically a big fish tank, but it's underground in, on this island and that. So it cost him £1 million to make it and that. And so like he's got like loads of money because he ripped off the Chinese for 10 million, because Doctor No, he's half German, half Chinese, but they didn't like trust him, because in the film, like they say, oh yeah, the Chinese won't trust anyone who ain't fully Chinese, and so he like Doctor No, I just like ripped him off for like 10 million, which doesn't sound that much nowadays, but in them days, in the 60s, it was enough to get him like a secret under base there going. And yeah, well, you find out that like Doctor No is fucking up the American space launches for their astronauts by like using some kind of machine that's like fucking. I think it's jamming the broadcast signal, so they can't broadcast it, and so they're not knowing where the rocket's gonna go. Well, anyway, he Doctor No, he's doing it, I think, for money, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, he's working for Spectre, and so I don't even know if Doctor No knows why he's like having to stop Americans launching like space missions why he's having to like interfere with the American space missions to like, because it was done in '62, and so America hadn't reached the moon, and so I think the premises of the film is Doctor No is fucking messing around with NASA's fucking communication, so they can't like launch rockets and that. Or when the rockets do get launched, he's gonna fuck them up so they can't keep track of it, and so they don't have any information on how the rocket's doing, and so they don't know how good it is and that, and so Spectre's like stopping the Americans. So anyway, Bond like finds this out and that because Doctor No thinks he's going to kill Bond and that, so he puts him in like a prison where they have like air vents and that, where real big ones and all, because it's underground, and so they need a good air supply. And it was done in the '60s where they wouldn't have had enough technology to do smaller powered vents, and so he's got these quite big vents, big enough that Bond, he like, they're electrocuted, but he shortens it out by touching it and that, and then fucking he gets a real big jolt in that, and so then he like with his slipper on it, or it's like a shoe, but the them Chinese shoes that look like slippers, pushes the vent up and that, where, as I was saying, the vent look a bit thin. You know, when you're thinking it's in a prison, but he's probably not expecting many prisoners. So there is that sort of like error in it. Oh, there we go. Look at this. I think we got a fucking troll home, yeah. Out. You block that. Yeah. If he ain't a troll, he shouldn't have his fucking. If he wanted a troll or a bot troll, in fact, it probably is a Chinese fucking soy bitch troll bot. But if it isn't, yeah, yeah. But I was like, yeah, reported, yeah, borrowed. Yeah, can I would say if it ain't a fucking bot, it certainly looked like one. So if it's someone who was like, oh, why the fuck did I get blocked? Like, oh, you shouldn't have your avatar and your name and your message looking like a fucking bot. Well, yeah. Anyway, so Bond, he like breaks through these like thin, like meshed sort of vent cover. But as I say, it was electrocuted, but he took the blast, shortened it, and then gets through it and that. Climbs through these vents to get himself into the sort of changing rooms of the staff who work there. And like he fucking chokes one of them out, probably snaps his neck and that. And fucking gets like his radioactive suit on. So it's pretty like thick and covers up his face and that enough that he's undetectable, because he goes into where Dr. No is like getting his machine ready to start jamming the American fucking space exploration fucking rocket fucking that test that they're doing and that. Oh, here's another one. Look at this. Can't even spell the names. There we go. Oh, you've been blocked. But yeah, anyway. He's in sort of like the main fucking launch. Is the launch site for Doctor No's fucking jamming radar. I think it's a jamming radar that they're using, but they need a big machine because it's one of them where computers were like taking up half a fucking room. And so you could only have some computers in one room or whatever. And so I all thought it was nice. Nice name, Nanny. But that ain't a name. That's him just. Oh, that's that bot just fucking randomly trying to make out names. I think. And so if you can't make out a name, it's just like, oh, right, it's a bot. It don't give a fuck. It's like, all right, well, that's close enough. He's probably having to use a lot of fucking other names and that. But yeah, anyway. So Bond, he's in this room where's the control room of Doctor No and that. And he gets mistaken for another dude and gets told to go onto the it's a reactor cooler system that he's at, sort of thing. And so whilst they're like concentrating on the rocket and that's going to get launched, Bond starts to like just turn up the cooling system, and so he puts it over the danger level where he gets noticed at this stage, and then he has to like beat the shit out of some dude who tries to stop him. Well, anyway, he just goes full on like fucking over limit and that everyone's like, fuck it. They start abandoning it because the evacuation fucking warning lights start like flashing up and that. And so Dr. No, he's pissed off at this, and he has metal hands because he had an accident with the nuclear fucking waste or whatever, and he lost his hands. So he's got these metal hands that he like tries to beat the shit out of Bond with and that. But he has a bit of a sort of like wrestling match where if he'd have kept swinging, but Bond, he knows, oh yeah, he's got metal hands, I'll have to close like range him. He does a sort of like Lloyd Gracie where he just tries to fucking get as close in, and so he can't like hit him. Well, anyway, they fall onto this nuclear reactor cooling system. I think it is. It's some kind of cooling system, and it's going down, and it's going down into the boiling like I think it's battery acid, it could be, or something, whatever it is. It's some like form of acid or something. Because Bond like gets up and like climbs up this bit of scaffolding to get back onto the ledge. Well, Dr. No, he's fucked because his metal hands can't get grip enough grip onto the metal bars that he's just sliding and goes under, and like he's dead. It's like you don't see him die, but you know obviously he is dead because like he'd probably drowned before the acid would have fucking burnt him up or whatever. But it's definitely some acid in it, cause, or it's definitely boiling at the time because it's overheating. So it'd been boiled to death, and so he's dead in that. So Bond, he's like, right, I'm getting the fuck out of here now. I've done the mission, and so like as he's like evacuating, he's looking for Honey Rider, which is the Ursula Andrews character in that. So he like runs around in that, knocks out a guard just because like he didn't know where his Honey Rider was. Then grabs a like nurse, a female nurse, who did know where she was, and he goes. She's sort of like tied to her sloping rock that's like used for docking, like when ships docking, or if they're using anything that's like floating. I think it's sort of like a docking bay sort of thing. Well, anyway, she's sort of like half sort of submerged in water, so Bond quickly frees her in that, and then they get running along the outside of this sort of like oil rig. It's a base, but it looks a bit like an oil rig, but a big oil rig base sort of thing. Well, anyway, Bond sort of like jumps onto like the boat. A bit of stunt work at the end. You got to like admire that, like the parkour sort of like aspect of the end move that Bond jumps onto this boat and punches one of the sort of guards off it, and then like knees the one in the head, and then Honey Rider gets on while she freed untied the rope, or it was untied anyway, and then they just sort of sail off, and then the enemy base blows up and that shit. Bond's sort of like floating in the sea, well, in a little boat, but they're just floating, like they don't have any sort of like compass or outside. I think they're a bit lost, and I don't think they know where they are. So even if they did have a like compass, or even judging by the sun and that, I'm not sure they'll know which way to go. So they just wait, and then Felix Leiter comes up on a boat and like gives them a tow until Bond and Honey Rider sort of like get a bit passionate, and then Bond sort of like lets go of the rope, which is sort of like a bit crazy, because it's like, well, how did he get back? Because obviously he didn't row, or maybe he just knows like, oh yeah, go on to the horizon for half hour and then come back. Maybe it was one of them deals. I don't know. But anyway, then it ends because like, yeah. Yeah, great film, though. Great film. It's like not the best Bond film in my opinion, because I'm more into the Roger Moore where it, like Live and Let Die. Like that is the best James Bond film in my opinion, because he's got like the best soundtrack, the, some of the best action scenes, uh, and really sort of like corny, sort of like one-liners and that. And oh, what's her name? She plays Solitaire, but yeah, I forget her name though. Right now, but yeah, she's in it as the Bond girl. But yeah, great film though, great film. It's like the Bond films sort of like didn't like have the sort of like style and flair if it wasn't for the original like Doctor No, because there was going to do because the first book is Casino Royale. That's why I did Casino Royale, the 1967 version with David Niven and that the week before, because that was like the first book, but there wasn't much action in the like Casino Royale. It was more card playing in that, and a bit of the talk you see at the end, where if you see the Daniel Craig one, it is pretty much sort of like similar, but there is more action in that because in the book the one that, and so that's why they did Doctor No because they thought, oh yeah, there's more action scenes in Doctor No, and it's sort of like um, makes James Bond a double O agent, so you don't have to like see him become a double O agent and that, or you don't have to see him like have his fair sort of like experience. He's already like a pro with Doctor No, and so like he can be all like hard hard, hard ass and that because he's already been on missions. But yeah, the like Ian Fleming, who wrote the James Bond books, didn't want Sean Connery to be James Bond. He thought he was a bit too muscly in that, and didn't really like um, his sort of like look to be like James Bond because he wanted a more David Niven sort of character who was a bit more sort of like older because I think in all Sean Connery, I think he was like 30 odd or something, and um, Ian Fleming wanted a more middle aged dude to play James Bond. So yeah, there's a bit of controversy, right? But the studios like had the final say, and so broccoli and that he had like the final say. So I said, oh no, but then Ian Fleming though, once he saw like Sean Connery play Bond, then he like was like, "Oh, all right, yeah, I don't mind him because like, yeah, you like muscle bound and he he can play like this sophisticated sort of like he ain't just all muscle sort of like thug sort of. That's I think why Ian Fleming was a bit put off because he thought they might make James Bond more of a thug character, even though James Bond is sort of like can be a thug at times because but he's thugs on the bad guys and that, or people he thinks are bad guys. Yeah. But yeah, class film though, class film. I must see it. Well, all the Bond films are a must see. I've seen all the Bond films, but I'm going to review them again because it's one of them where I just I just love to see like the Bond films because they have great action in it and some like classy sort of scenes and that with women in cars and vodka martinis. And a great soundtrack and all, because most all of them, apart from the later ones, like Daniel Craig era and that, all of them usually have great intro songs. So I'm not all too keen on the modern sort of like music sort of thing. So even though they are good songs, because they have to be good songs, or else they ain't gonna be in a Bond film. But they're not my sort of songs, the recent stuff. But the older stuff though, yeah, that's like fucking class fucking artists and that. And yeah, got like loads of crazy sort of fucking like beats and that shit that get played along in the films. Like yeah, a few crazy songs because Doctor No in this one it's like underneath the mango tree, even though I don't know if that's what it's called or if it's just the mango tree underneath the mango tree, but darling, it could be that I don't know, but yeah, and like the good songs and all because it's one of them where there was making films to be sort of like top fucking um, releases and that, and so they know they had to get a good soundtrack, or else they're not going to be like getting top billion and that. Because in the '60s, when they was getting done and that, in the '70s, it was that sort of like time where you needed to have some good music in your films because people would want to go see a film that had like a good soundtrack because they're like, oh, if there's no soundtrack to a film, they're like, oh yeah, a bit like in them days, like, and they'd always like have the soundtrack album that is more like publicity, and so they would have to make a good soundtrack for the film, or else the soundtrack album wouldn't sell that good. And then he's like, what was the point? You should have just fucking not even bothered with a soundtrack. But yeah, got to see this film though. But you you've got to see it. It's like watching a vintage sort of like car, you know, where modern day cars, obviously, they're gonna beat them, but you can see how well made and how sort of like inspirational that was to modern cars, or with this being a movie. You can see how inspirational like it is to the modern movies where they had themselves like car chases with fight scenes and glamorous women with fucking crazy gadgets. But even though there aren't many gadgets, because like the gadget part came sort of like later on, but not too late because like there is a few gadgets in the second one where Russia from Russia with Love is the second one, which is a clue to which is going to be me review for next week. But yeah, that's got a few gadgets in it, but not loads because they didn't do loads of gadgets in a certain film, but there is loads of gadgets from because every film you usually will have different gadgets, even though some of them do get like reused now and again. But usually there'll be a new gadget for Bond to like try out and that. So he's always getting like the well, he ain't always getting the prototype, but there's a few times where he has used the prototype because they still haven't finished like testing it. But they test it enough that they know it works, but they don't know how good it works, and so like Bond will just use it because they like need him to like use the like newest equipment, so he's top of the game. So yeah, there's loads of gadgets in the films and that, but in Doctor No, yeah, there's none really. There's maybe a few sort of like computer gadgets, but as I say, the computers are massive, and so it is like looking really sort of like dated when it comes to the computers and that. But because probably if kids watch it and that, they won't realize that the computers they're using, they'll think that the fucking like oh vending machines. Think why are they using 8 vending machines put together for not really oh no because like in Doctor No in his base and that he has about six computers where like each compute well there's probably about 8 computers to run just one sort of like system, and so he's got like about 6 systems. So he's got about 46 computers probably running in that. But yeah, he has them sort of like colored coordinated where he's got like temperature or oh, fuel source and that. So there's a big fucking computer rig system just to check on the fuel, and there's one to check on like the American shuttle launch and all this. But yeah, great film though, great film. You can like see how it's like influenced like big budget films. Well, the big budget action films, because it's sort of like as like what's happening sort of like nowadays, where you've got action films, but a bit low budget, and then you've got like fucking big budget films, but the low fucking action. But the Bond films sort of like married the both, where you had your fucking action film, but at a big budget. For its day, but it was like the oh Avengers sort of fucking obviously we want the franchise of the Avengers sort of thing, because it only had like one character who was Bond, but I just seen it. It's had like nearly 30 movies, and there's still going to be another one. So they're still making movies today. Yeah, it made sort of like fucking everyone's sort of like realize, oh yeah, if you're gonna do an action movie and you're gonna make it a big budget action movie, you need to do what sort of like Bond films do, where you get glamorous fucking people with great sort of like stunt coordinators and fucking stunt men and women who can make it fucking look good fucking action and that. And you get you send some good fucking like scenery in sets. Don't don't keep an out on the scenery and set. And so it made movies today that do action blockbusters and that shit, where like Indiana Jones and that, they sort of and like they pretty much admit it and all, where they're like, oh yeah, um, Indiana Jones is sort of like the James Bond of not architecture, arch, archi, archaeology. Yeah, he's like the James Bond of archaeologists. So like they like know what, yeah, we get glamorous people with like fucking good stunt people to fucking make them look good and good sets and like yeah, and some action scenes that like are good. Oh yeah, oh yeah, boy. Says he always likes the cars and the movies. Oh yeah, well if you're like a bit of a car enthusiast and that, yeah, the Bond movies do always make a note of, well, apart from like Doctor No, they want no sort of like special car, but every other movie, I think there's been one or two that like they've had a car, but if it has had special weaponry on it, they haven't had time to use it and that, and so they'll just like use a bike or another car. But oh yeah, the cars in this film, they always get nice cars, because like with Doctor No, most of the cars, I'd say all of them probably are American ones. Them so like 50s, because it's set in Jamaica. Well, um, most of it is set in Jamaica, and so they drive around in them like 50s, sort of like them, oh, like Chevy and that, like Cadillacs and that, where fucking that like not all that sort of like fast or like mobility, but the still some good cars. But yeah, as I say, the Doctor No was a sort of like first attempt of doing a Bond film where they'd done a Bond film for TV where it was an American Bond where it was done in the 50s, and I think he did all right, but it was the Casino Royale sort of story that they did that, but where James Bond is an American instead of British, and then Felix Leiter is British instead of American. But yeah, they've done that for American TV and that, but they've never done a film, and so they didn't know how good it would do. And so once like Doctor No did good, then they started like investing in the films and what do you call it? Sort of like props and that. So they get better cars and I think and all where they get like avatars in where Austin Martin, they sort of like supplied, I think, cars for the Bond films. I don't know if they did it at first, but I know that they started like giving like Bond films like cars just because they know, oh yeah, you're gonna make the car look fucking real good in the Bond film, and yeah, like the Lotus Elite and all that. I think, yeah, I'm sure the Lotus Elite was one of them where they said, oh yeah, we've got a real fast car in that, and so they was like, oh yeah. Well, how fast is it? And like I showed them, I think they got shown or whatever, and that, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, we'll have that in the movie then. We'll have Bond driving that. Yeah, so I think that's why Aston Martin, I think, started getting like faster cars and that. So I was like, oh yeah, shit, because like all the like top like car companies and that wanted the cars to be in a Bond films, especially if it was going to be Bond driving it, like geared up with weapons and all that shit. Yeah, they had like um, sponsors and all with like watches because usually Bond's watch will have some special gadget that he'll use on it and that, and so they'll get like cars, watches, and fucking all of a shit like just so like oh yeah, if it's in a Bond film, it's definitely gonna get some publicity in that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pop culture creator, man. Yeah, yeah. So how guys are. Yeah, yeah. Just like um, just been like talking about the 1962 James Bond film Doctor No, saying like, oh yeah, great movie, yeah, yeah. Pop culture creator knows his movies and that, yeah. Yeah, like, but you see this, I was surprised at this. Don't know if this is going to surprise you. That I don't want to like fucking piss Bone off, but look at this. Bone said he'd never seen it. I was like, oh man. I was saying, no, great film. It was one of them films that like set the bar for action films. Yeah, yeah. Pop culture creator says, yeah, he hit the like button for us. Yeah, yeah. Cheers, pop culture creator man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was saying, if you want for um, Doctor No, the like 80s films won't be as good. Ian Bones saying, hello, pop culture creator. Yeah, yeah, because like the filming on it was like where they started taking sort of action films serious and that shit. Yeah, yeah. Pop culture creator agrees with me. Like the James Bond sort of like made the 80s action films sort of like because it was it was at the time and all where Roger Moore was getting quite old because like he was he was in his mid 40s when he started playing James Bond, and that was in the 70s, early 70s. We're living like die. So yeah, by the time he got into the late fucking 80s, he was like um, probably in his 70s. I think he was 70 odd when he did his last film. I'm I'm sure A View to a Kill. I think he was like in his 70s, but yeah, the 80s part. I think that's why I decided making action movies because it was like, oh yeah, even though the great movies, the more sort of they're not all that sort of like fighting movies. Roger Moore don't really fight much. Yeah, yeah. Pop culture at Bone saying hello there. Yeah, so like I think with the 80s it was like, oh yeah, we'll do a well we can't do a Bond film because even though they did do um in the early 80s two Bond films at the same time where it was Roger Moore and Sean Connery because Roger Moore I think it was Octopussy and Sean Connery was Never Say Never, and they both got released in '83, and so they was like competing against each other. I think it was because MGM make all like the Bond films and that, but I think it was the Canon Group or was it Warner Brothers? Could have been Warner Brothers. But anyway, some other like film company had the rights for a Bond film. Like I forget how they got them, but anyway, so they got Sean Connery again to reprise the role. Good film. I'm gonna be like reviewing that one and all. Yeah, I think I'll have to do the Sean Connery one before Octopussy because yeah, it's a bit like a spoof. Well, it's not a spoof though because it is actiony in that, and it has Pat Roach in it, who's in Conan the Destroyer, and he's in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he was as the like big bad dude who fucking Harrison Ford always has to fight. who gets his sort of like head mashed in by a propeller, aeroplane propeller. Not just like some little kid propeller like thing. Yeah. So it is a good film and that. Talk about never say never in that. But yeah, it does sort of like try to play a little bit of like comedy in it, but but not as bad as the Roger Moore ones because the Roger Moore ones are like proper okay tongue in cheek and that shit. Where yeah, the first about 3 or 4 sort of like Bond films try and make it quite serious. As in, Doctor No is probably like one of the most serious Bond films that like he don't have like no crazy gadgets are out, and he ain't sort of like flying around on jetpacks because I, I forget which one. I think it's Diamonds Are Forever where he has a jetpack in it. But yeah, once I get to about 3 or 4 films in, that's when it was like, oh yeah, let's just fucking go crazy now. We'll we'll make him a proper fucking like super spy now, and that's when like the Bond films went and it went crazy that like it got to a stage with Roger Moore where it was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna have to come back into reality, and the had Timothy Dalton who did great films and that. Like the good films, but they're a bit more serious and that, like quite serious. Uh, like the Timothy Dalton films are like the serious ones, so it's like if you're more into the Timothy Dalton sort of James Bond, you'll probably like Doctor No because that is like more serious. And then like Pierce Brosnan, he sort of made it a bit funny again, but not too funny that it was going crazy levels. The script went a bit crazy though because they had an invisible car, and I was like, whoa. Even though they probably could do it and that, but you know, just because you haven't seen one, you're like, oh, well, a bit too far fetched. But if it was an invisible car, obviously you won't be able to see it, but it just seemed a bit too like technology, technological fucking advances that like, yeah, they could have, but it was a bit like, yeah, I don't know. Because I think there is some gadgets in that like Bond uses, but most of them though they can be made and that, and so they will work because they like to try and get quite factual on the logistics and that of whatever fucking weapon they're using and that. So they're not blasting big massive holes with a pea shooter. So people are like, oh, that looks a bit corny. So yeah, they like to get the sort of physics on whatever gadget they design and that. Because some of them though, I don't think can be made, or if they can be made, it'll be somewhere where technology they've like kept it a secret, and that where they're like, oh yeah, we don't want to show what advances we've made. We want to keep them to ourselves. Oh, oh yeah, did I? Yeah, but did you play GoldenEye? Oh yeah, I did. Oh, real good at all. I was that good that like I completed everything on it. That I was doing the cheats where you get like cheats for doing certain levels in certain times, and there was only about might have been two or three sort of cheats that I didn't unlock because there was like really hard. There was like one where I'm sure you needed a fucking like pad that wasn't a bit fucking wobbly and that you could get the speed up and that because I tried it and that, but I was always like a few seconds out and all that shit. And you know, you're thinking, oh no, it's too hard. Fuck it. But the rest of it, I completed. Even did like all of like the cheats, as I say, apart from about two or three. Because one of them was, I think, the stick men where you could have, but yeah, it was somewhat like crazy fucking time where you couldn't do it unless like you had a fucking new pad, and I think that's why they probably did that level. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll have to go and buy a new pad, and then fuck it up trying to get that level done. Well, yeah, yeah, great game, good film and all. With Goldeneye, there's a 15 cut where um, Xana Onatop, um, she's the woman who plays oh an X-Men fucking shit. Oh, I blanked on the character's name. Uh, but anyway, yeah, she headbutts a woman and that, and they cut it out to get the like PG rating. But I've got the 15 um, version of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jean Grey. Yeah, yeah, that's her name. Yeah, Ariel plays Jean Grey. I, I forget her name, but she's also in Taken as the wife, isn't she? She is the wife in Taken. But yeah, she plays Zena on the top in Goldeneye, and yeah, because she like headbutts this bed. Well, headbutts the thingy. Oh, I forget her name, but the Bond girl, she headbutts her, and it got cut to get a 12. But I've got the 15 version. Yeah, yeah, but I was saying, yeah, the cheat codes were fun. Oh yeah, yeah. Once you got them out, yeah. But um, yeah, yeah, some big head mode. Yeah, 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 yeah. There was them ones, but um, the guns ones, I even got them, even though I'd got the all guns cheat, and so I got all the guns out, but I was just getting the guns, so just in case you wanted a certain gun on a level, and you didn't want to go with all guns because then you had to like fucking flick through them all, didn't you? But uh, and then Famke Janssen, yeah, right, yeah, 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 yeah. she plays a good part in the Bond film where she's like the um oh top henchman. She's like the top henchman in the for the bad guys. Oh, and like yeah, so she's the one that like tries to like fucking kill Bond all the time. Uh, yeah, you're not sure. Yeah, he's not sure it's spelled correctly, but yeah. Well, yeah, if you spell it correctly, yeah, I'm fucking pronounce it fucking wrong sometimes, but yeah, Frankie, Frankie Jensen, but yeah, but yeah, I'll have to shut down the stream, sort of, or close it, sort of thing, because getting to that time where yeah, I'll have to do a sort of thank you and that. Yeah, here's the ball. Yeah, man. What put in that? And yeah, here's the pop culture creator. Yeah, yeah, popping in, man. Yeah. Yes, I'll I'll be doing the Bond films like every week now. So like I'm doing obviously in order. So probably next week will be Russia from Russia with Love. I think it is. Yeah, I think the second one's from Russia with Love. It's like one of them where I'm not, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure it is. But I'm like 99% sure. But if it is the other Bond film that was the second one, it'd be the second Bond film. But I'm sure it's from Russia with Love, which is a good film and all. Um, yeah. Cheers. But, well, um, yeah, I could drop you a link if you wanted to watch it with us and that. Um, I'll, yeah, I'll have to start following it. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Oh, hey, got ourselves another fucking. Now that is not a name. They're off. It'll like that. That is. If it is, it sounds Chinese Russian to me. But yeah, fuck that. Yeah, I think that was you that set him off there. Pop culture creator. We use. Oh, I'll try. He's like, oh fuck. Yeah, yeah. The fucking must have. I've seen. Oh, like red. Oh yeah. If they're gonna try and be there, oh shit, might get some views. Oh, better fucking spam bottom. The name sounds like a Bond villain. Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. In fact, yeah, it might have been a Bond villain in their secret lair. Like, oh fuck, because I'm going to be talking about the Bond films and that, and so yeah, there's going to be a lot of talk about fucking villains and their secret layers because in every Bond film, nearly everyone's got like a secret layer, or if they have got a secret layer, they've got some kind of fucking base where they're like, oh yeah, I think, oh yeah, yeah, I think everyone has, yeah, well, every fucking super villain in the Bond films, I'm sure has. So I can't think of any of them that, and but yeah, he's in his secret layer, like, oh fuck that, I don't want him talking about Bond films. Oh, fucking spam bot them the cons. Like, yeah, but yeah. So, I'm probably in all. I'll be releasing a video, because I should have released one fucking yesterday, and so yeah, I'll be releasing a video hopefully tomorrow, and I'll probably, well, hopefully I'll do a live stream and all tomorrow, like an early one. So, cause I think round about, or it could be round about this time, but I'll probably do a live stream tomorrow, because I didn't do one fucking yesterday, which I should have done, which I fucking had like a bit of like, like shit to do sort of thing. I was so sort of like fucked to be like, oh yeah, doing like video and live stream, and so I thought, I'll just do the video, but then I didn't even do that. So, but yeah, oh, here we go, another one. Look at this, they're popping in. Yeah, that's supposed to be like Russian, but I don't think it will be Russian. I think it's one of them where it just looks Russian. Yeah, but I tell you something though, it must mean I'm doing something good, or something that them fucking commies fucking spam bots don't want me talking about, and they're like, oh fuck, that's just spam like. Hopefully though, I'm thinking that should count as a view. If even though they're probably not in it for that long, have they been about 2 or 3 seconds to just fucking drop the message off and fucking log back out. Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe pop culture creators having them bots follow him, and yeah, they'll come on here thinking, oh shit, we don't want fucking people talking about fucking stuff with pop culture creator. You might start talking about Bond films, Secret Layers. Because yeah, fucking, as I say, pop culture creator. If you wanted to pop on and that fucking, like, I'll have to like follow you in that, or because I don't know if I'm following you on Twitter out, but yeah, so I'll drop the link in a DM sort of thing. Well, yeah, oh, I used to like the Bond films. Oh, well, the class. They're like one of them where I like just watching them, sort of like, because I know fucking what's gonna be happening in them, but some of the stunts and like action scenes in that in them are real good though. It's like, oh yeah, where another watch. That's it. Mail for your channel. Ah, yeah, J-pop culture. Because like, yeah, if I'm doing a live stream tomorrow, which I should be, and that, like, I'll try and get your DM so I can pop you the link on it if you wanted to pop on a live stream and that. Like, I should have sent um like the link to a group chat, but sometimes fucking, when people are in a group chat, and then so if you're trying to put other people in, then it won't go in that fucking group chat and that, and so yeah. But I'll try and put it in the group chat where I just drop the link in all the time. But if not, I'll do it like separately. But yeah, cheers for watching, Bud and pop culture creator. As yeah, hopefully I'll be releasing a video and doing a live stream tomorrow. Be a bit earlier than this sort of thing though. But yeah. Right. Here's what. Oh. Uh, Sometimes I'm on my phone and can only do chat. Oh yeah, man, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, just be like, oh yeah, I'll do one of them. Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, do one of them where I'll send you it, and like if you don't um use it, and that'd be all right, like sort of thing. It'd be like, oh, like thinking, oh yeah, you must be doing something else and that. Yeah, bro. Says later, yeah, later, bro. And that, yeah, right. Thanks for watching.